Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romy TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro. So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, welcome to Romy TV Africa. This is Newspaper Review with your host Mark Collins Ochieng, and today we are going to tackle the stories that made headlines on your local dailies, that is the Daily Nation and the Standard. I'm not alone, I'm joined by a lady and a gentleman whom they are going to introduce themselves on their social media pages. So I will start with my right. Please welcome on the show and introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, welcome to
Oriana Chantel in all social media platforms. Thank you for having me.
Okay. On my left also there's another gentleman, a new guest. Please introduce yourself to the viewer.
I am Tite Baraza.
Yes.
In both social medias, Facebook, YouTube.
Okay. So remember, viewer, you're watching Romy TV Africa. Remember to like, subscribe, comment on our social media page. That is Romy TV Africa, and you'll get more this content and others on Romy TV Africa. So without wasting my time, my guest, we are going to start with the Daily Nation, and the first story of the Daily Nation is about, let me read the headline. It's that without a trace, puzzle of missing academic writer, IT consultant and MCA's husband. So this story, if I just read it a bit, or if I try to give you a synopsis of what the story is all about, is that when Martin Mungai left his house in Roysambu on June 30th to meet a friend in Ruiru, his family did not know that they would soon be looking for him as a missing person. Okay? However, when his friend called his mother a few hours later asking about Mungai, his mother Mungai knew something was wrong. So let me quote the mother to the victim. I told her that Mungai had left Roysambu much earlier, and it was puzzling that he had not arrived in Ruiru. When I tried calling him, his phone was off. I sensed something wasn't right. However, I told myself that this phone's battery might have died and calmed myself, Miss Mungai said. So when Mungai failed to show up that night, his mother reported the matter to the Kasarani police station. The family is yet to get any feedback from police. So this story tends to tackle about 3 people who went missing as far as friendship or family is concerned. So one of them was an academic writer, one of them was an IT consultant, and one of them was a husband to a lady who was an MCA. So guys, I would like you to give me your sentiments concerning this story. This is not the first story we are encountering here in our country. There has been so many cases of people going missing. Some we might allude to maybe kidnapping, some we might say maybe they were taken to captives, but some of them we don't know. We don't know if it was planted, or we don't know if it was organized, but we also know that some are using that platform to be fraudsters, or they're using that platform to be able maybe to use their relatives or to use their friends maybe to send them money in order to benefit themselves at the expenses of trying to taint bad image that they were maybe kidnapped or they were abducted, but it's not the case. So I'll start with you, my brother. What is your take about this story of people missing in our country? What would you have to say?
Of recent,
Yes.
actually, this is not the first case.
Yes.
For the last few months,
Yeah.
people have been disappearing
Yeah.
without trace.
Yes.
Like around 3 days ago, there was a school principal who went missing,
Yes.
and he was found dead in one of the forests.
Yes.
So I think at the state of the nation now,
Yeah.
you know, most of the youths, I think some people, they are jobless, huh?
Yes.
And so they are trying to find means of survival. And I think unemployment is actually one of the factors for me that can lead to such cases because of now if we look at the area, like the sites of Utawale and all that, such cases actually have been reported of recent. People are snatched phones, money, some are killed if you try to resist. So I think the government should do something about the security of the nation and try to investigate actually the real causes of the disappearing and people being killed. So that we investigate actually to get the real cause,
Yes.
because this is actually getting out of hand.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So according to you, you're saying that the rate of unemployment in this country is the one that is facilitating maybe such cases to rise.
Yeah. For me.
And maybe if the government would address in form of employment, maybe making sure that the jobless youth, they get something to it. But on that point, I would also like to say that okay, there are some people who use it they use that podium or that platform to get money from people. But the unfortunate thing is that some people end up dying. So I don't know how we can do that one. So because life lost is life that cannot be recovered.
Exactly.
But maybe we can advise the government maybe to heighten their security, and also we can advise our viewers that whenever maybe you are going somewhere, or you are going for a road trip, you are going for a picnic, or you are going to visit your family and friends, at least always keep them on board. Try to inform them, try to brief them up, ensure that they know where you are, so that in case anything goes sour, they can be able to fast track, or they can be able to trace you where you are. Oriana, your quick reaction about this story. What is your take? The 3 missing people, an ICT, husband to an MCA, and then last one is an online writer. What do you have to say about this story of missing? Because one of them was also found dead.
This is not the first time we've had missing cases.
Yes.
So I just advise people to be just careful, to avoid traveling at night. Maybe let's say staying out at night when you know very well that the neighborhood that you're packed in, it's not as safe as it should be. So if you stay in a neighborhood that is dangerous, that have had such cases before, it's great, it's advisable to take caution and try to keep yourself as safe as possible, because even when you get kidnapped, even when you die, you're also hurting yourself and your loved ones. Yeah.
Okay. So we are going to another second story on the Daily Nation, and the story is about Mount Kenya was split into 2 by 2 strangers and Gachagua won. So this story tends to talk about the deputy president-elect, that is Rigathi Gachagua, during the time that they were campaigning for the concluded elections that we did last year. And so during that time we had Uhuru on one side, who was being schemed, who was being viewed as the Mount Kenya kingpin, and on that his side he was supporting Martha Karua, whom some people were also trying to claim that she might be the supremo in terms of political ownership of Mount Kenya. But however, all that we can say that Gachagua managed to bag a lot of votes from Mount Kenya, which this one helped the President-elect William Ruto to be able to win on a margin of 200,000 votes. So I don't know what is your take about this thing, because even right now at the moment there's still some people who are bewildered. They did not expect that Gachagua will be able to, their political camp will be able to ascend into power, and then Gachagua will become the deputy president, and now he will be now the official spokesperson of the Mount Kenya people. He will become the kingpin of the Mount Kenya people. Do you think that at the moment Gachagua right now we can scheme or we can view him as the Mount Kenya political kingpin, or you guys feel like there's someone else who is the kingpin of Mount Kenya, or there's someone else who is supposed to take that role of becoming a Mount Kenya people, a Mount Kenya kingpin, who can be able to mobilize the people from the region, he can be able to lead them, and also he can be able to foster development and also direction. What is your opinion when we start with you?
According to me,
Yes.
Yes, the UDA party,
Yes.
Of which now, we need to ask ourselves, who are these two strangers in quotes? The two strangers who are in Mount Kenya, of course, Mr. Gachagua he comes from Mount Kenya.
Yes.
So in this case, we had William Ruto,
Yes.
and Raila Odinga.
Yes.
Those are the strangers in Mount Kenya because they don't come from Mount Kenya.
Yeah.
And so for me, I think these guys were able to garner a lot of votes from Mount Kenya.
Yes.
Because from Mount Kenya, like the views that have been coming from Mount Kenya,
Yes.
Gachagua was able to gather a lot of votes from Mount Kenya. Actually, the Mount Kenya people wanted to disappoint Uhuru.
Yes.
They had a lot of expectations from him, of which it's like they felt like Uhuru had disappointed them. He didn't meet their expectation.
Yes.
So what they did is they voted to the other side because they wanted to disappoint Uhuru. So for me, I cannot see, yes, Gachagua gained a lot of votes, but I am not seeing him as the kingpin of Mount Kenya.
So according to you, whom do you think right now at the moment, because Uhuru already failed with his camp, whom do you think maybe right now is fit, or whom do you think can take that position of becoming the kingpin of Mount Kenya? Or at the moment, it's still early.
Yeah,
what is your view?
At the moment,
Yes.
We cannot really tell who is the kingpin of the Mount Kenya.
Yes.
Because now Gachagua is actually garnered the numbers because of the disappointment the Mount Kenya had
From the previous
yeah. So according to me, Mount Kenya right now,
Yes.
they have not really shown. We don't have that really
Leader.
kingpin
Okay.
who can guide and control Mount
Can
Kenya.
mobilize them.
Yeah, can mobilize them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, maybe you can say that camp got a lot of votes also because the deputy president was using, how do I say, was using sympathy.
Yeah, sympathy. Yeah.
In order to also gain a lot of votes,
Yeah.
because he would cite the president every time he was campaigning. Niachie ujamaa wa mtendawili
Yeah.
nini, nilimsupport yake, sasa amekataa kunisupport, such kind of stuff. Also, I think the sympathy
Yeah, the
also
sympathy,
played a lot of role
that
in
divide
terms
that
of them,
was
yeah,
there
yeah.
between the
And also using their cases, some of the previous cases they were having, they also used those cases to persuade and convince the Wananchis to give them a lot of votes. Oriana, your reaction on this story? Does Mount Kenya have a kingpin at the moment, or they don't have? Do you think Gachagua is suitable to become the kingpin of Mount Kenya, or at the moment it's still not there? It's early to speculate. What is your thought?
Actually, second whatever he has said.
Yes.
Whatever he has said.
Yeah.
I don't think they've accepted him yet. The majority did. I second what he said, even though yes, he did get some votes from there, but not everyone 100% is with him. So I don't think he is the kingpin of Mount Kenya.
Okay. Yes, we are going on the third story, and the third story is about the burial ceremony that was done yesterday in London. So the story is about British citizens in Kenya hold a requiem mass for the Queen at All Saints Cathedral. So guys, yesterday we saw a lot of dignitaries, namely Joe Biden, okay, we saw Australian president, we saw the president from different powerful countries or continents. Yesterday they came together because of the burial ceremony of the Queen Elizabeth. We asked God to lay her soul in eternal peace. And we also saw African presidents. They also went there, including our own Dr. William Samoei Ruto. We saw Mama Suluhu from Tanzania and other dignitaries. Guys, I would like you to give me your quick reaction concerning the lay of the burial ceremony of the Queen. We know about her, but we know that Africans were not happy about there was nothing to celebrate about the Queen Elizabeth, considering maybe we were their slaves for a very long time, they colonized us, okay? They used to mistreat us very horribly. So I want you guys to give me your reaction, because there were people who took it to offense yesterday when they saw the African president. They were being ferried to the funeral using a bus. So some of them were asking, why are you belittling us? Why are you trying to demean us? We expected maybe we go with our motorcades on that burial ceremony. But unfortunately, the only person who was allowed to use was Joe Biden, and we know that he comes from a very super powerful country. So your quick reactions on this story about the burial ceremony yesterday of Queen Elizabeth II. What is your take?
Okay, about what I know about Queen Elizabeth.
Yes.
She was in Kenya some years back,
Yes.
around 1950s.
Yeah.
There are some pictures and stories that I was reading when he was in Kenya with Mzee Jomo Kenyatta and all that before she became the Queen.
Mm-hmm.
But if we look at the way the whole thing, the way the white people are taking us Africans,
Yes.
It's not really embracing, because we are, both of us are human beings.
Yeah.
But it's because of, I think it's because of, we are the developing country, and so they try to demean us because of the skin color.
Yes.
And our status, like economic status.
Because we still maybe borrow funds from them.
Yeah,
we
we
rely
borrow
on them in
funds,
terms of AIDS, drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We borrow most of the things from there, so they see no value in us.
So they take us as inferior people.
Yeah, exactly.
They feel superior.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. But what I'll say about this is out there, like white people should not actually demean us because of our status.
Yes.
And we're still rising, so we need to keep ourselves rising, and one time we'll get there.
Okay. Your reaction on this, Chantel, what is your thought about the final paying tribute of the Queen Elizabeth II? Yesterday they were sending her off. The Bible, you saw how the ceremony was. The place was packed to brim. There were people were allowed to watch from the streets. There were some screens from the streets that was there. The security was also beefed up. Remember, there were dragons walking on the air. There were dragons patrolling on the air. There were also snipers, okay, who were just trying to beef up the security to ensure that the security is at the maximum level so that nothing can interrupt with the ceremony. What do you have to say? And also remember that the African presidents who were there, they were fed using the bus. So some of the Kenyans or some of the Africans took this to offense, that why are you belittling some of our presidents? We expected them also to go to the place with their motorcades. What do you have to say about this story? The burial ceremony and also the issue of transporting our leaders, ferrying our leaders using the buses.
There's a reason that when the Queen died, not all Kenyans were like, oh, send of the Queen with good remarks or anything like that. Actually, most Africans didn't react on that, because as much as people are celebrating her, we forget what she did in the past, how she treated black people in the past, which isn't a positive thing. So the fact that they have the audacity to belittle the president just because they are black,
Yes.
or that's an act of racism, and that shows how, that tells a lot about them actually, meaning they're not respectful, they're not equal, they're not as good as they portray themselves to be. They are racist people, which it's kind of offensive, and they need to apologize for it.
Yes, actually on that point, you reminded me one thing, an incident that I saw yesterday. Prince Charles III, while he was greeting some of the people who are on the streets, who are trying to follow up the event, there was a black person that he skipped from greeting him. I don't know why. Some people have been arguing that maybe he was distracted, but looking at the clip very well, you will see that this was just a deliberate act, that he just decided to greet the white people. He shook with them hands, but the black person, he was excluded. What is your thought about this? Does it portray a good picture as far as Barry is concerned? Because this is one of their colleagues, is there trying to greet people, and then he's keeping a black person by not greeting him. He refused to lay his hand.
That tells a lot about how he lead the people actually.
Yes.
Meaning he won't be equal to all the people.
Yes.
He will favor the people of his color, and if there are people who are black in his country,
Yeah.
or if there will be any people like black people who will be engaging in businesses with him, he won't equalize it. He won't be fair to them. That tells a lot about him. So yeah.
Okay, we are going to another story, and the story is about the best of talent at National Music Gala. Okay, remember yesterday there were the Secondary Schools Association, yesterday the drama festival. It was being yesterday performed at the national level, was being performed at Kisumu, at Kenya National Music Festivals in Kisumu, and the professor for education, the cabinet minister in charge of education, Professor Magoa, was like the guest of honor. So there were various performances that were done there, but there was one that stood out very fast, that even made the ever stone-faced Professor George Magoa. Remember, he's someone who is always stone-faced. It's very rare to see him smile. He's just like Matiang'i. Okay, he's a man of decorum, a man of dignity. So there's a student by the name Joshua Mutua Mbiti of Miangoni School in Machakos. He did one of the memorable performances whereby he moved the audience with his Kamba chant decrying the negative effects of information technologies on families, especially children. Mutua's stage antics got the usually taciturn Education Cabinet Secretary George Magoa into rare fit of laughter. Okay, this is a good platform because it gives the students a chance to showcase their talents, be it music, be it in terms of voice, be it in terms of drama. So we always applaud it, we always embrace it, we always like it, because it also refreshes the mind of the students. You know, academic is not just about books alone, studying the theory. You should also dwell on your talents, you should also dwell on practicality. So guys, even Governor Nyong'o was there. That is Governor Anyang' Nyong'o was one of the guests. So guys, I would like you, maybe when I start with you, Oriana, you give me your sentiments concerning the performance yesterday at Kisumu National Festival. What do you have to say about this issue of drama festival, this issue of talents to our kids? Because even at the moment, I can say like this year, cases of school unrest have reduced. I think maybe it might be attributed to performances such as this. What is your take about this story?
I actually think it's beneficial for the kids because they tend to explore their talents.
Yes.
You get to figure out what you are good at or what you love and what you don't love. You also, they engage in socialism whereby they can talk to, let's say a school can socialize and maybe talk to their brother's school or something like that, you know.
I apologize, it was a primary, no, not secondary. Yes, it was a primary performance nations festival. Continue.
So in this way they get to socialize with their peers.
Yeah.
They get to build up and strengthen, polish up in their talents.
Yes.
Maybe this particular student didn't know that she has a gift of dancing,
Yes.
or a gift of singing, but through those drama festivals she comes to discover them, and she discovers what she's good at. So it's helping our kids, the children, to know themselves better and explore more, just not educational wise.
Your reaction on this, Kevin?
Yeah, yes. If we look at the festivals, not just festivals like music festivals, we look at other parts of talents.
Yes.
When children are exposed to such activities when they are young, they are able to know exactly what they can do best.
Yes.
So the learners actually are supposed to be exposed to various activities, singing, dancing. You know, we have some learners who can dance very well, but at the same time this learner is not good in class. So we need to expose them so that they can realize their talents. And some learners actually can be good in class, they're good in the field. You know, such activities actually helps learners to realize what they can do best.
Okay.
Yes.
So guys, we are going on the last story of Daily Nation before we take a commercial break. Then we'll be back with the standard. So on the last story of the Daily Nation that we are going to tackle is about the story of Ali robbers. UDM files lawsuit to leave Raila Odinga's Azimio coalition. So the United Democratic Movement Party has filed a lawsuit whose outcome could settle the supremacy battle between President William Ruto of Kenya Kwanza and Mr. Raila Odinga's Azimio la Umoja One Kenya party in parliaments once and for all. UDM, which is led by Mandela Senator Ali Robert, remember before he went to vie for senator, he was the governor, so he had served for 2 terms. He had 8 MPs, who is the furious at the advisory by the register of political parties lapping its Azimio coalition members, yet she has allied itself with the ruling coalition. A dispute over which coalition has the most MPs is to be designated the majority side in the National Assembly is raging, with both sides laying claim to the majority's leader's post, for which Kenya Kwanza has named Kikuyu MP Imani Kichungwa and United Democratic Alliance, while Azimio has picked Ubunja MP Opio Wandai. So there has been a battle here in terms of who has the number of MPs, who has the number of legislators as far as representation is concerned in the 13th Parliament. And yesterday we saw Ali Robert, the Mandela Senator elect. Remember, after the elections was concluded, him and his entire team, the 7 elected MPs from the northern side of the Kenya, they went and signed a coalition with Kenya Kwanza. And because of this, members of the Azimio coalition, they feel like they were betrayed, because according to the laws that were set by the register of political parties, that once you are in that outfit, you are not allowed to walk out of it because you had signed everything. But now we see them breaching the law, going opposite, whereby they joined Kenya Kwanza. And right now, because they joined with those 7 members who are elected under the umbrella of Azimio la Umoja, right now, UDA claims that they have majority of members of parliament because of those members. While Azimio la Umoja, they claim that they have a majority majority members of parliament because of the 7 elected leaders. What do you have to say about this standoff between Azimio la Umoja and Kenya Kwanza as far as majority number of legislators is concerned? Because there's been that standoff. The senator is claiming that now, as we have walked out, as we are now in Kenya Kwanza, but Azimio la Umoja is still saying that you guys, you breached the law, you violated the law, you are supposed to be with us so that we have the majority number of the majority members of parliament. But right now they are going to file a case in court, so we are waiting for the petition. They have filed a case in court, so the judge is going to give the verdict. What is your take about this story?
I wouldn't say much.
Yes.
But maybe I don't think it's okay whatever he did, because it's kind of an act of betrayal in a way.
Actually, it's betrayal.
Because he's like against he's been in this particular in this party for a long time,
Yes.
and the opportunity, once he gets an opportunity to leave, he just takes it without thinking,
Seeking
twice.
other alternatives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's an act of betrayal according to me. And, it's a good thing they actually have taken it to court, because it's not how it's actually.
Okay. Your real quick thought about this story before we take a commercial break.
I think the reason for these movements,
Yes.
we've seen recently after William Ruto was announced as the president, some members who were elected as independent,
Yes.
they signed an after election they signed us to be among the winning team,
Yeah.
the Kenya Kwanza, and I think it's a normal thing. These other parties, they want to be in the government so that to get their portion from there. So I think for this movement, since the Azimio had a bit higher members of parliament than Kenya Kwanza, so the Kenya Kwanza also they want to convince other members to join them so that they have the majority, because the ruling government, if it happens that they have few members of parliament, most things they will not amend their laws because they have opposition. They have more opposition than, so they will not have any say in the government.
Okay.
So I think in Kenya Kwanza team is actually trying to convince those guys to join them so that they are the majority.
Okay.
Yes, but I think as you had said earlier, it's a betrayal.
Yes.
But anyway, we understand this is politics.
Yes. But do you think the move that they are trying to do you think it's do you think they include Wananchi, or they just do it without
No,
including Wananchi?
they do it for their own benefit. Actually,
For their own
the
selfish interest. Yeah.
Self-interest.
So you are trying to tell me that maybe the people from the northern side, those people who voted for those MPs belonging to that political outfit, they also feel betrayed because these people have decided to join a coalition,
Yes.
Another bandwagon, and without informing them or without consulting them.
Yes, they were elected as members of Azimio, so
Yes.
people trusted in Azimio, so that they elected. But now the members have been given their portion.
Yes.
They have been actually bought.
Yeah.
So it's there for their own interest, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have a difference between leaders and politicians.
And politicians. Yeah.
So this is where now you notice the difference between a politician and whether the leader you have is a leader or a politician.
Okay.
Because when they are elected, after they get there, they just start thinking about themselves. So I think for the move they made is a wrong one because of self-interest, and which is not good actually.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks for your comment or for your thoughts on this story. Guys, we are taking a quick commercial break. Remember, this is Romy TV Africa Newspaper Review. I'm your host, Mark Collins Ochieng. That is on Facebook. On Instagram and Twitter is Collins_KE. Remember, this is Romy TV Africa across all social media pages. And I also have my guest here, Kevin. Can you remind them your social media pages?
Yes, at YouTube, Kevin Teacher Baraza.
Yes.
Facebook account, Honorable Baraza,
Yes.
Ombati.
Yeah.
And then the Facebook page, Teacher Baraza.
Yes, Chantel, maybe I give you 2 seconds, please, before you take a commercial break.
Oriana Shantella in all platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere.
So guys, we are taking another short commercial break. We'll be back with the standard to give you more of these stories. Thank you for watching.
Alright, welcome once again to Desmond Show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romy TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro. So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
All right, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also, remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romy TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro. So, my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
Africa. This is newspaper review, and right now we are going to tackle the Standard. And the first story that we are going to tackle in the Standard is about the send-off of Queen Elizabeth II, whereby President Ruto had to give his remarks concerning Queen Elizabeth. So let me read the story. President Ruto will miss the cordial ties Queen Elizabeth II had with Kenya. So President William Ruto was among hundreds of world leaders who were invited as guests, and they attended Queen Elizabeth II funeral service at Westminster Abbey in London yesterday. Ruto joined other world leaders including US President Joe Biden, French President Emmanuel Macron, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. And this is what Ruto had to say as far as the burial was concerned. This is what he had to say when he was at the podium. We will miss the cordial ties she enjoyed with Kenya, and may her memories continue to inspire us. We join the Commonwealth in mourning and offer our condolences to the royal family and the United Kingdom during these difficult times. Kenya holds a special place in the late Queen Elizabeth's life because she assumed leadership in 1952 while visiting the country with her husband, the late Prince Philip, when her father, King George VI, died after a long illness, forcing her to return to home immediately. So yesterday, I think we did this story before, but now the way they have tackled it in a different angle. So it's just trying to talk about the burial yesterday of Queen Elizabeth at Westminster Abbey in London, and the Deputy President had to give her sentiments concerning how Kenya was related to the United Kingdom, and also we saw other leaders also giving remarks about the late Queen Elizabeth II. So guys, I don't know what is your take about this story about Kenya and United Kingdom. Do you think we have that strong bilateral ties between us and them as far as Queen Elizabeth was concerned? What is your take?
Yes, I think we have we still have a tie, but because actually we get most of the support from there, like finance,
Yes.
drugs. Actually, like there's a time we had insufficient funds,
Yeah.
drugs in the country,
Mm-hmm.
and because we had a disagreement somewhere between Kenya and the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So we had an insufficient funds, and there was fear. Actually, a lot of people were endangered, so they had to make peace then for us to receive such drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we still have that cooperation despite the challenges of racism that they have. They still support the country
Mm-hmm.
in most of the important areas.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you think maybe the burial might facilitate the ties to be strong? Maybe the bond between Kenya and the United Kingdom.
Yeah, actually,
the
that's
relationship to be more strong, considering also she was crowned that title Queen when she was paying a visit here at the country in 1952.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to strengthen?
Yeah. That's why the president had to go.
Okay.
Yeah, because if he failed to go, then it means they have disconnected the connection that we have between us and them. So actually, the main reason for them going there is for him to go is actually to show that we are still together. We don't know.
It's a good indication.
Yeah, it's a good indication. We don't need to show them like you despite us because of this and that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chantel Oriana, what's your thought on this story? Do you think the death of the Queen Elizabeth is going to strengthen our ties between Kenya and the United Kingdom, as far as they say that she was part and parcel of this country once she was crowned that status of Queen Elizabeth while she was here back in the days?
We've seen that since her death, there are some countries that are not willing to continue with the act of, I don't know what to say.
The act of what?
Working together.
Yes.
Yeah, there's some that are not like willing to work with the country anymore since her death.
Yeah.
So it's actually a good sign that he decided to still hold the alliance between the two countries. And it's good news for us because we still, as much as they're still racist, we still benefit from them.
Okay. Now again, the last story is still a repetition of the story that we did yesterday. It was about mixed reaction as African One leaders traveled to Queen Elizabeth's funeral in a bus. Okay. So there were mixed reactions among Kenyans on social media after a photo of African leaders on a bus to Queen Elizabeth's funeral went viral. Among those leaders were President William Ruto. Seated next to him was his wife Rachel Ruto, who was gazing outside the window. Directly in front of the First Lady was Tanzanian President Suluhu. But what caught the attention of many Kenyans was President Ruto's smile. Many who joked that he had been a happy man since he was sworn as the head of the state last week. Ruto's smile ever inspires hope, see Akufos. That is a quote from one of the Twitter people who tweeted, I really hope he works for the people of Kenya because yenyewe hatuwezi kula hiyo smile. A section of Kenyans on Twitter thought it was not safe to have several African leaders bundled in one bus for security purposes. I even saw a Twitter by the former governor of Nairobi, that is Mike Mbuvi Sonko. I remember he said that kama hiyo basi pengine ingelipuliwa, mambo ingekuaje. But also there was also some reaction from people who were saying that is United Kingdom and you don't expect them to go with their motorcade because kutakuwa na traffic mingi, jam itakuwa mingi, so afadhali tu wasafirishwe kwa basi. So I don't know what is your reaction about this. Nyinyi mnaona aje, ilikuwa ni salama wasafirishwe kwa basi ama walikuwa wamedunishwa ama hiyo wange na motorcade yao ingeleta jam? Wewe unaonaje?
I think let's not take it negatively.
Yes.
Maybe, you know, there were a lot of presidents.
Yeah.
From Africa, almost the 55 countries, almost all the presidents went there.
Yes.
And you can imagine all those presidents going with their motorcades
Yes,
to the same place.
Yeah.
And then we have countries from Europe.
Yes.
We have from Asia. We have countries. So all those presidents who went there, if they went with the motorcade, sometimes it could have caused a lot of jam and actually the more you have
inconveniences.
Inconveniences.
Yes.
And
So according to you, it doesn't mean that they tried to belittle them. It doesn't mean that they were demeaning them.
No.
They were just following the protocol.
Actually, the best thing that they would have done.
Even me, I think I can agree with you because also these people, they are always used to this motorcade. So let them also go there. Waonekane pia hao ni watu wa chini. Si ati tunawanini hapa mpaka barabara tunafungiwa. We cannot use that road. Your reaction on this, Ariana? What do you have to say about this story?
First of all, it's Ariana. And as much as we say actually it would bring a lot of traffic, but I have a question: why only African leaders? Why not the rest? Mbona hawangefanya hivyo Europe pia?
It's a good question by
the other
it's a good
countries?
Yeah.
Why only Africa? Is it because it's just the black people and they think that we'll just be okay with it? For me, I'd take it negatively. It's not.
It was not right. It was not appropriate.
Yeah.
So maybe
because if they would have done it to all the leaders, ingekuwa another case.
Yeah.
But if it's just for the black leaders,
yes,
that's a red flag.
It's a red flag. So guys, we are coming to the end of this show. Remember, this is newspaper review with me, Mark Collins Ochieng, on Facebook, while on Twitter and Instagram is at Collins_KE. So for these stories and other more, please go and catch your daily copy, or go to the news vendor, order for your copy, grab it and read more of these stories. Remember, they were just trying to give you the major stories that made headlines today, but there are also other stories. There's business, there's agriculture, there's technology on this news outlet. So thank you for watching. I've been your host. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for subscribing at Romy TV Africa. Same place tomorrow, same time with me and my panelists. We also come with this program to give you more insights about the stories that made headlines on your local dailies. Continue watching Romy TV Africa. Up next at 11 a.m. is Chat Spot with me and my other guests. Thank you for watching.
Alright, welcome once again to Desmond Show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romi TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro. So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.